students, welcome back. Today we are going to divide decimals by whole numbers again. I just want to show you a few more examples. So we're on day 2 of being able to divide decimals by whole numbers. All right, so I have the same information as a review. The vocabulary for a decimal or a division number sentence. So our number that we're splitting up is our dividend, the number of groups is our divisor, and the number in each group or the answer in division is our quotient. And we have the same 4 steps to cycle through. We divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. So here is our first problem for today. We are taking 38 and 4/10 divided by 16. So let's set that up with our house. 38 and 4/10 divided by 16. Now this problem is a little more challenging because if we look at our divisor, it is now a 2-digit number that is probably outside of what you know as far as your times tables. We don't tend to memorize a lot of our 16 multiples, okay? You might have a couple that you remember, but that's not something that we typically memorize, especially in 5th grade. So we might have to do a little work on the side to figure that out. But before we do that, let's think back to what Mr. Abbott likes to say and what I said in my other video. What do we do with this decimal point? Raise the roof, right? We put it up top of where it was, and that's where it will be in our quotient or answer. And now we can kind of ignore it and do some division. So we're pulling groups of 16 out of this number. How many groups of 16 can we take out of 3? Well, if you have 3 of something, you cannot take a group of 16 out of there. So I put my little X on top of the 3. Now we move to 38. How many groups of 16 can I take out of 38? And here, if you don't know your multiples of 16, you have to do some scratch work on the side. So here's where you might want to start taking 16 and multiplying it by single digits to get to 38 without going over it. So let's try 16 times 2. 16 times 2, 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So if I take out 2 groups of 16, I get 32. And I know I can't go any more than that because it would be way over 38. So how many groups of 16 can come out of 38? 2. And what was 2 times 16? It was 32. That's my multiplication. Now I subtract. What's the difference between what I needed and what I had? 8 minus 2 is 6. Last step for this round is to bring down your next digit. It's a 4. All right, so we're back to dividing again. How many groups of 16 can I take out of 64? Well, over here, I remember that 2 of them were 32, so it's got to be more than 2. So here's where you might do a little trial and error. Let's try 3. 16 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. All right, we're getting there. Let's see if we can go one more. 16 times 4. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So look at that. We can take exactly 4 groups of 16 and get 64. So I put my 4 for my number of groups. 4 times 16 is exactly 64. And when I subtract, there's nothing left over, so I know I'm finished. So 38 and 4/10 divided by 16 is 2 and 4/10. So for this problem, it was a little more complicated because of the divisor being a 2-digit number that's kind of out of our times tables. We had to do the scratch work on the side to figure out how many times we could take things out. But other than that, the steps were the same. All right, let's look at one more problem for today because this is a review. Now we're going to have 145 and 8/10 divided by 12. So when I set that up, 145 and 8/10 divided by 12. Remember that your very first step is to move your decimal point up to the roof, raise that roof, and that's where the decimal point will live. If you have it shifted on to the left or to the right, it's going to make your answer incorrect, most likely. So let's do some dividing. 12, that's a better divisor. Even though it's 2 digits, 12 is a times table that you probably know about. So that'll make things a little easier for us. How many 12s can we pull out of 1? There's 1. Can I take a group of 12? No, I can't. So I put an X above the 1. And I have to shift over to the next digit and use both of these digits together. How many 12s can come out of 14? Well, if I count by 12s, 12, 24 is too many. So I can pull one group out, and that goes up top as part of my quotient. Multiply. 1 times 12 is 12. Subtract. 14 minus 12 gives me 2. Bring down the next digit, the 5. Now we repeat. Let's divide again. Can I take 12s out of 25? Yes, I can. 12, 24, 36 is too many. So I can take out 2 groups of 12. My 2 goes up here. 2 times 12 was 24. When I subtract, I have a difference of 1. And then I bring down my next digit. Go back to the beginning. How many 12s can I take out of 18? 12, 24, nope, 24 is too many. I can take one group out, and notice that the 1 is after my decimal point because I'm lining things up nicely. 1 times 12 is 12. When I subtract, 8 minus 2 gives me 6. Now remember from yesterday's video, you cannot have a remainder if you already have a decimal value. It's like writing a number like that. We don't have 2 decimal points in a number, okay? We don't have a decimal point and a remainder. It just does not make sense. So when that happens, if we have what we think of as a remainder, we have to annex a 0 into our dividend, because that does not change the value. It just gives us something to work with. And then we bring that 0 down, all the way down, next to that 6, and we divide again. How many 12s come out of 60? 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. Exactly 5 groups of 12. 5 times 12 is 60. And when I subtract, I have nothing left over. So 145 and 8/10 divided into 12 groups gives us 12 and 15/100 in each group. Remember, if we would not have had a 0, if we had a different digit here, we would annex another 0 and bring it down, and you can keep going as many times as you need, or you can round your answer, which is typically what we would do. All right, I hope you found this helpful. Feel free to rewatch any of my videos until you learn the skill, and I will see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.